most of the businesses in India falls under normal taxpayers category. Business entities who comes under casual taxable individual, those business entities will not be doing the business for the whole year. The normal tenure of non-resident taxable individual type of registration is 3 months. Hello everyone, I am Arun Kumar, lecturer in Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Dear student, welcome to this new session, that is session 2 on Unit 4, that is registration under GST. In the previous session, we discussed about the meaning of registration and eligibility for registration, documents required, and we also discussed about the benefits of registration. In today's session, we will be discussing about the types of GST registration and rejection of application for registration, that is on what circumstances the GST authority is going to reject the GST applications, and cancellation of registration. Yes, sometimes they give permission, they get registered, but after a few days the authority is going to cancel the registration, or the particular taxpayer is going to cancel the registration by himself. So with what reason they are going to cancel the registration? So in this class we are going to learn about these 3 concepts. Once again I'll tell, that is types of GST registration, rejection of application of registration, and cancellation of registration. So now the types of registration. Yes. Mainly we have 4 types of registration under GST authority. First type of registration is normal taxpayers. Second one, casual taxable individual. Third one, non-resident taxable individual. Fourth one, composition registration. So these are the 4 different types of registration what we have under GST. So if we look into each individual type of registration, so that easily we can understand what are the conditions we are going to go through under each and every types of registration. So moving on to the first type of registration, that is normal taxpayers, overall called as normal taxpayers. The most business in India fall under this category. Yes, most of the businesses in India falls under normal taxpayers category in this type of registration. So business whose turnover exceeds rupees 40 lakh in a financial year are required to register as a normal taxable person. Yes, if any business entity's turnover exceeds rupees 40 lakhs, except northeastern states and special states, if any other business entity's income or the turnover exceeds rupees 40 lakhs, then they falls under normal taxpayers and they have to register as normal taxpayers under GST. However, the threshold limit is 20 lakh if you have a business in northeastern states, that is Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Yes, as I said, for special states it is 20 lakhs. The threshold limit is 20 lakh. If the threshold limit crosses rupees 20 lakhs with respect to northeastern states, then they are supposed to get registered as normal taxpayers. So in type 1 registration, that is normal taxpayers, almost all types of businesses in India, they falls under this category, that is first category. If any business entity earning more than 40 lakhs, they are doing transaction, the sales more than 40 lakhs in the financial year, they have to get registered as normal taxpayers. With respect to northeastern states, that is Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, it is 20 lakhs. If the turnover of those business entities crosses 20 lakhs, then they comes under or they falls under type 1 registration, that is normal taxpayers, then they have to register under the GST authority. Moving on to the second one, the second type of registration, that is casual taxable individual. Yes, casual taxable individual. So occasional or seasonal businesses need to register their businesses under GST for this category. Yes, in category 2, occasional and seasonal business entities are going to come. Yes, what is this occasional and seasonal business entities? So businesses need to make a deposit of equal to the GST liability from the occasional operations. So the tenure of registration is 3 months. However, businesses can apply for renewal and extension. If the businesses or the business entities who comes under casual taxable individual, those business entities will not be doing the business for the whole year. They'll be doing the businesses for a particular season. Like for example, in summer season, only in summer season they will be doing the business. Afterwards, they close the business. Again in the next summer, they start with the business. That means only season wise they will be doing the businesses, not continuously for the whole year. So those kind of business entities, they have to register under casual taxable individual category. And businesses need to make deposit equal to the GST liability from the occasional operation. Yes, they have to make the deposit. They have to make the deposit of GST, that is the tax amount, equivalent to whatever the amounts they are going to pay for that particular time duration. And the tenure for registration is 3 months. Yes, if once they register under this category, under category 2 of registration, the tenure of registration is 3 months. So for that next 3 months, they are going to do the business. Still, if they want to extend the registration, they can extend. They can extend the tenure of their registration for next 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. If the 3 months of registration is sufficient, then their tenure will expire. After 3 months, the registration will expire. Again, once again, for the next year, they have to register as a casual taxable individual if they continue the seasonal business. So this is about category 2, that is casual taxable individual. Moving on to the third one, the third type of registration, non-resident taxable individual. Non-resident. So who is called non-resident? The person who is not staying in India, that person is called non-resident of India. So non-resident taxable individual. So individuals who reside outside India but occasionally supply goods or services as agents, principals, or in other capacities to Indian residents are liable to file or register under this category. Yes, under type 3 registration, the people who are not in India, the people who are not India, who are staying outside India, but still who are supplying the goods to Indians, okay, to Indian residents, supplying the goods or services to the Indian residents, then they were supposed to register under category 3 of registration. The business owner must pay a deposit equal to the expected GST liability during the GST active tenure. Yes, here also they need not register for the whole year. Based on their business circumstances, based on their business environment, they can register. Even they can register for 3 months or for 6 months, based on how long they are going to do the business with Indian residents. So, and they have to pay the expected to the GST authority. The normal tenure is 3 months. However, individuals can extend or renew the registration if required. Yes, the normal tenure of non-resident taxable individual type of registration is 3 months. Still, if they want to extend, yes, they can extend their registration tenure for next 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. If the 3 months registration is sufficient, they can cancel the registration after completion of their businesses. So in category 3, the people who are reside outside India, they are going to register for supplying the goods to Indian residents. This is about non-resident taxable individuals. Moving on, the fourth type, that is composition registration. So what is composition registration? In the previous class, I was explaining about this particular concept, that is composition scheme. The people who are having less than 1.5 crore turnover in the financial year, they can opt for composition scheme. I hope you people will remember that. So businesses with an annual turnover up to rupees 1.5 crore. Businesses with annual turnover of up to rupees 1.5 crore are eligible for registration under composition scheme. Yes, the people who are all having the turnover less than 1.5 crore, all of them were eligible to register under composition scheme. Under the scheme, businesses have to pay a fixed amount of GST irrespective of their actual turnover. Yes, under this type of registration, that is under composition registration, the business entities are going to pay the fixed rate of GST. See, in GST we have different rates, right? We have 5% rate, we have 12% we have, and we have 18% of GST, and we also have 28%. We have different rates, 5, 12, 18, 28, right? But if any person get registered under composition scheme, these rates are not applicable. These rates are not applicable. For composition scheme taxpayers, we have a different set of rates, like it may be 2% or 1% based on what kind of transaction, what kind of trading they are doing. They will be charging a fixed rate of tax to the people who comes under composition registration. Yes. So once again I'll tell, business with an annual turnover of up to rupees 1.5 crore are eligible for registration under composition scheme. The people whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore in a financial year, all of them were eligible to register under the composition scheme, and under composition scheme a fixed rate of tax is applicable. Moving on, the rejection of application for registration. On what circumstances they are going to reject the applications? The first thing, if you look into, GST application can get rejected only if required data is not filled accurately. Yes, the GST application will get rejected if the required data is not filled properly or not filled accurately. Sometimes at the time of writing your date of birth, what you will do, you do some mistakes. Instead of writing 1992, you have written 1990. At that point of time, documents what and all attached with the application, in documents it is 1992, but you have written 1990. At that point of time, your application will get rejected. So at the time of filling the application, you have to provide the accurate information about your business entity as well as about your personal information. Inadequate proof of identity or address of premises, and if your PAN card number is not matching. Yes. And also you are unable to provide the proper address proof and the proper address of premises, and if your PAN card information is mismatching, that point of time also your application will get rejected from the GST authority. Next, on rejection of GST registration application, the GST officer would issue a notice to the applicant. Yes, once if the GST authority is going to reject the application, if they are going to reject your application because of some mistakes done in your at the time of filling the application, or mistakes found in your PAN card or in address proof or address of premises of your business, then what they'll do, they'll issue a notice to you. They issue a notice about the rejection of your application. As per the GST regulations, the authorized officer should convey to you in writing along with the reasons for rejection. Yes, if they reject your application, then they are supposed to communicate to you, that is to the business entity, why they are rejecting the application. With reason they have to convey it to the business entity. So in case if you provide the wrong information or wrong documents, mismatching documents, the application will be get rejected, and the authority is going to send you a notice, and it is compulsory that the authority have to inform the person, the taxpayer or whoever applied for registration. They have to convey that for what reason the application is get rejected. So this is about the rejection of application for registration. Moving on, cancellation of registration. At what point of time they cancel the registration? The first thing, the registration granted under GST can be cancelled for specified reasons. Yes, for some specified reasons, whatever the registration is permitted, that will be cancelled by the GST authority. The cancellation can either be initiated by the department on their own motion, or the registered person can apply for cancellation of their registration. Yes, either the GST authority is going to cancel your registration, or the person who registered with the GST authority, he himself going to cancel his GST registration with the GST authority with some specific reasons. If they find that the business is not running properly, what the authority will do? They cancel the registration. If they are doing any illegal activities in their registered entity, then at that point of time, what the authority will do? The authority will cancel the registration. Sometimes at the time of death of the owner of the business, so the person responsible for the business, that person is going to cancel the registration. So moving on to know the reasons why the registration will get cancelled. So the reasons for cancellation. The first reason, a person registered under any of the existing laws but who is not liable to be registered under the GST Act. Yes, sometimes they will not comes under the purview of GST. Okay, sometimes they will not comes under the purview of GST, but still they get registered. But unknowingly, the authority will also get registered. The authority will also register that particular business entity. After once they get to know that they will not comes under the purview of the GST authority, then what they will do? They cancel the registration of a particular business entity. Next, the business has been discontinued, transferred fully for any reasons including death of the proprietor, amalgamated with other legal entity, or demerged. Yes, in case at the time of discontinuation of the business, the registration will get cancelled, or transferring the whole business to someone's name, or to transferring the rights of the business to some other party, then at that point of time the business registration will get cancelled. And at the time of death of the proprietor, at the time of amalgamation, or at the time of demerging, the GST registration will get cancelled. There is any change in the constitution of the business. Yes, with some reason we started the business and we get the registration from the GST authority. But after a few days, the whole nature of business will get changed. The whole nature of business will get changed. If the authority will get to know about it, if the authority notice that, then they are going to cancel the GST registration of that particular business entity. Next, a person paying tax under composition levy has not furnished returns for 3 consecutive tax periods. Yes, if any person is claiming, or if any person is willing to take the composition scheme, so if they are not providing, the required documents, if they are not providing the furnished returns for 3 consecutive tax periods, if they are not providing the required returns for the 3 consecutive tax periods, then those kind of registration will get cancelled. And registration has been obtained by means of fraud, willful misstatement, or suppression of facts. Yes, sometimes to get registered under the GST authority, what we will do? We are going to provide some fake documents. You are going to provide some misstatements, willful misstatements. And sometimes what we will do, by doing some fraud things, we will get the registration from the GST authority. Once the GST authority get to know about this kind of activities, what they'll do? They cancel the registration. What they'll do? They cancel the registration. So these are all the reasons why our GST registration will get cancelled. So in this scenarios, our GST registration is going to get cancelled. So thank you all. So in this session, we discussed about types of registration and the cancellation of registration, and also about rejection of registration. So for more videos, keep watching, and thank you all.